Hello everyone, how are you all? Hope you all are fine. So today I am here with a new topic, that is history and evolution of computers. Here, let's start about the history of computers. So uh, earlier in 1822, the father of computers, that is Charles Babbage, he began developing what is called mechanical computers. So at the very first he developed abacus. So we can say as a general purpose computer, or we can say just for the calculations, which does only the calculations like subtraction, division, multiplication and addition. These are all done with the help of abacus. Then after he started working, and he designed analytical engine in 1833, which was a general purpose computers. It consists of ALU, that is arithmetic logical unit, and some basic flowchart principles, and also the concept of integrated memory. So all these things, ALU, then integrated memory and flowcharts, these are all contained in the analytical engine, which was the first general purpose computer. Now the second one, uh, in after that, after I think more than 30 years, after 30 years, yeah, we got our first electronic computer, which is also a general purpose computer, that was named as ENIAC, and the full form is Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. So we got our first general purpose computer, which is named as ENIAC, which stands for Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. It is invented by John W. Mauchly and Prisper Eckart. And after that, we got our first laptop in 1981, which was introduced by Adam Osborne and Epson. So this is about the abacus, then ENIAC, and our first laptop. Now the generations of computer based on hardware. There is many more generations of the computer based on the different things like software, hardware and programming languages. So this is the generation of computer based on hardware. So first generation, the computers which are developed during 1945 to 1955, that is till within the 10 years, are called as first generation computer. In the same way, here I have to write 55. Okay, here is a mistake. So the computers which are generated in 1995 till 1965 are the second generation computers. Then from 1965 to 1980 is the third generation. Then 1980 to 1989, that is only 9 years, is the fourth generation computer. And from 1989 till now is the fifth generation computers. Now let's see more detailed features about them. So first is the first generation computer that are developed during 1945 to 1955. So the first point is that they use the vacuum tube. So vacuum tubes are used in the circuits. Because of the vacuum tubes, as you can see the size of the vacuum tubes, there are many more demerits of these types of generation in this first generation. Because of the size of the vacuum tubes, the computer size were very large. Also they are using machine language, and they are very expensive, and because this vacuum tubes take consumes more energy, the electricity amount is also very large, required for them is very large, and also it creates more heat. These are okay, and the calculations are done in a millisecond. Okay, these are the Features of first generation: they use the vacuum tube. Because of that, they are very large in size, and the vacuum tubes are very expensive, and they use large amount of electricity, and because of that only they create more heat energy. And also the maintenance cost of these first generation computers are very high, because they are very large in size, like they require one room to to be installed. Okay, and they calculate the data in millisecond. The example is ENIAC and ENIVAC. Sorry, ENIVAC and ENIVAC 1. So these are the example of first generation computers. Now second generation. Uh, as the transistors are developed, second generation computers used transistors which are better and faster than first generation computers. Now let's see the characteristics. So here in the first generation we used vacuum tube, but it was replaced by transistors in the second generation computers. Uh, these computers these computers are less in size, because you can see the size of the transistors are very less in size, smaller in size. That is why the size of the computers also reduced, and they create less amount of heat. Also the heat, they need less amount of electricity as compared to the first generation computers. These computers use assembly language, whereas the first generation uses machine language. Here the calculation speed also increased from milliseconds to microseconds. Okay, this is about the characteristics of second generation computers. Now moving towards the third generation computers. Here is the introduction of integrated circuits. Now these transactors which are used in second generation computers are replaced by the integrated circuits, that is IC. Multiple transistors are placed on the silicon chips. These reduce the size of the computers enormously. Now also they use the less power and generated the less heat. Operating systems and other application softwares like Paint and that Writer, all these developed. These computers were general purpose computers and also the commercial purpose. So it is not limited to only general purpose, but these computers are also used for the commercial purpose also. These computers could calculate the data in nanoseconds. So from macroseconds we have shifted now to nanoseconds. They used the high level language, because we started from the machine language, then we shifted to the assembly language, and now we are on the higher level languages. Now this was the example IBM 360 series and CDC 1700. These are the example of third generation computers. Now fourth generation computer. Fourth generation computers developed large scale and very large scale integration. It means that VLSI was used during the fourth generation computer. These are the technologies. So it allows thousands and millions of transistors on the small silicon chips. You can see that in third generation number of transition are more, but compared to that in fourth generation it is much more. Okay, so small transistors can be used on a small chip, silicon chip. Higher languages like C and C++ are used in this. Operating systems like Windows and DOS were also developed during this period only. So we can say that the computer's speed is increased to picosecond, as we are using VLSI, that is we are using a small thousands and millions of transistor on a one small silicon chip, and because of this the processing power increases. So now here the speed of competition uh, of the program has increased to picoseconds. Also the microprocessors are developed here in this generation only. You have seen the microprocessor, that is Intel, and many more. So these are the example. Intel is an example of microprocessor. Now here, because of this, because small things are used over here, microprocessor is also small in size, then silicon chip is also small in size, then a transistor is also small in size. Because of this smallness, the size of the computer become much smaller, and also the faster, as you can see, the size has reduced to increased to speed has increased to picoseconds, and it is more reliable, and also they use less electricity and generate less heat. The example is Cray-1 and Apple. Now moving towards the fifth generation computer. Fifth generation computers are made from 1989 till now. Okay, so whatever the computers that are developed during 1989 and also till now, they are included in the fifth generation computers. Fifth generation computers used AI, that is artificial intelligence. They also understand what we are speaking. The best example of this is a Google Assistant. They assist us in almost every stage of life. Okay, if you don't know the English, it will translate your language into the English. Also, it will show you the things there around you. So this Google is the best example of this AI, fifth generation computers. Now, scientists are also working to increase the processing power of computers. Now we have to increase the processing power of computers, means scientists are thinking and also working on it. They are trying to make computer with a real IQ, means the time is no longer when the computers will also think and react like human beings. The scientists are trying to make the computers with a IQ, which helps in advanced programming and technologies. Now the example of fifth generation computers are IBM notebook and Param 1000. Okay, so this is the example of fifth generation computers. So here we are ending with our generation of computers. Hope you have understood it well. Thank you and have a nice day.